Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach. We are meeting for another love circle. I'm just closing few windows over here. And today we are talking about your unconscious mind. Today's topic is all about understanding your unconscious mind. The reason we want to understand our unconscious mind is that is what's running the show. So let's say if you're going through a very difficult time in your life, you're going through a challenging time and you're like, life is doing it to me, other people are doing it to me, God is doing to me, the truth is nobody's doing it to you. That is the program that you have in your unconscious mind. And that is what we want to talk about today. It can feel very overwhelming when we actually learn that. It can feel like, oh my God, now I get to blame myself. No, we are not talking about blame. We are talking about understanding, taking responsibility, and taking the steps to changing that. That is what we are working on right now in this moment. So there are two minds. First of all, let's talk about what brain is. Brain is the physical part that actually stores memories. It has specific function, but when it comes to mind, nobody knows where the mind is. There are all kinds of theories. Mind is more of an energetical presence. At some point, I believe science would have done enough growth or enough development that we will be able to detect where your mind is. But what we know right now is our body is also part of our unconscious mind. So if you have experienced something, your body actually stores it too. And there is an energy around you over here that is your mind as well. So in that essence, we have conscious mind that, for example, right now I'm using my conscious mind. I'm having these thoughts. I'm looking at my notes. I am teaching you guys. I am present with that. And then there is unconscious mind. That is the part of our mind. One, physically, it runs our bodily functions that we don't have to think about. So it's running your heart, it's running your breathing, your blinking, all the processes in your body. But psychologically, it's also sending out signal, a telepathical signal to the universe to bring the resources, to bring the situations in our lives that we experience in the moment. So whatever we are experiencing in this moment, we have created it from that unconscious place. So what my aim is with this conversation, you'll be able to understand how that mechanism works and how you can start taking that responsibility without judging yourself and start changing it. The biggest thing that comes with this kind of understanding is the freedom. You know that you can actually do something about it. Yes, it might not change overnight, but you can change it over a few months. You can change it over few years. So that is what our goal is for today's conversation. I am just switching back to my notes. So let's start with what these two minds are all about. So when we are born, when we are 0 to 7, let's say this is our body, this is our heart that always has our desire. This is how our mind kind of looks like. It's half. And this is our subconscious mind. We don't have an active conscious mind in a way between 0 to 7 that we are thinking for ourselves, or we are making decision, or we are doing critical thinking. Yes, we can teach all those skills to kids from a very young age, but that's not what we are doing. In those years between 0 to 7, we are absorbing every single thing. And our brain wavelength is more on the hypnosis side than beta, which is right now. We are present, we are having a conversation. So you might have even experienced as a child, you were more of like, into your imagination. Kids, it's sometimes it seems like they are living in a world of their own. That's why it feels like because between 0 to 7, they are in that alpha wavelength of mind. They are more into imagination. They are more into let me absorb everything that's coming to me. And the reason nature has created us that way, so we can get imprinted with all the things that we need to know about this life. So our parents are teaching us different things. Our parents are teaching you should do this, you should do that. Our parents are kind of giving us those um, knowledge of this world. So they are telling us don't touch the fire, don't put your hand in your socket, don't walk right in the middle of the road, eat this, don't eat that. We are learning all those things. If in that moment, let's say nature created us anyway differently, we had a conscious mind, we're going to start rejecting our parents. So we don't have the ability to reject in those early years. So because we don't have the ability to reject, we absorb everything that's coming to us. Now, this is where it gets tricky. We absorb all the good and all the bad stuff that is happening. We take on all the wonderful beliefs of our parents and also their limiting beliefs as well. So if you have ever experienced somebody who has a very similar emotional lows as their mom or as their dad, and they're like, oh, I'm just like dad, I worry about everything, or I'm just like my mom, I'm anxious about everything. So that is their unconscious mind. So this mind is also the feeling mind. So whenever you go into a feeling, you're feeling something, you're just dealing with any emotion, unconscious minds get activated. And that comes very handy to reprogram it. That's why whenever we are doing affirmations, we are supposed to connect with the feeling of it. Because when we connect with the feeling of it, we actually open up our unconscious mind and it is open to suggestions. Now, because it's been absorbing everything, that is where our beliefs are. And those beliefs are what's creating the thoughts. You know, those autopilot thoughts that you have about yourself. Let's say you just think you are, not very beautiful. If that is the thought that keeps coming up, you're not very beautiful. And you don't even try to go get that thought, it just comes to you. There's a belief deep down in your unconscious mind about that. And that belief and that thought collectively creates a specific behavior in you. So you might be more of an introvert. You might hide away wherever you go because you don't feel like you're beautiful enough. You might not even step up to your full potential. You just hide in the background. Now, that set of belief and behavior and the way we think is what's called a paradigm. So that paradigm that's creating our current reality is coming from our unconscious mind. And it is something that we can change. So when we do have that paradigm and we are struggling in whatever is going on, and we are asking the universe, we are asking the God, please come help me. What we know about universe and God, it delivers right away. So let's say you're struggling with weight, you want to lose weight, that new healthy body gets delivered right away. If you're struggling with, in your relationship, those new relationships get delivered right away. If you're struggling with, let's say, a financial situation, you're looking for a job, you're not getting a job, as soon as you're asking, that does get delivered right away. But what end up happening, if this is not changing, if those beliefs are not changing, you cannot accept that. You cannot have access to that new energy of new circumstance, of new paradigm. So what we want to do, we want to learn how to change this. in order to change our circumstances and situations. And that is where our conscious mind comes to play. So I'm going to show you about our conscious mind. Our conscious mind does get created after the age of 7. So it's 7 and onward. And this is our thinking mind. And this is also the part of the mind that can reject. So now whatever we learned about our unconscious mind or subconscious mind, if we want to undo that based on whatever we want to create in our life, we are going to use our conscious mind. So conscious mind is that is going to create the change in our life. It is going to be the vehicle that we are going to use to reprogram our unconscious mind and create the life that we desire. Now, this is where the struggle comes. If unconscious has been ruling those thoughts for the longest time, and we are not consciously thinking, it becomes such a big challenge. How am I going to think on my own, force that, and these thoughts that feels like coming like a flood, like how am I going to fight that? That's how it feels. Most of us, we are not thinking consciously. We are just thinking whatever is coming to our mind, and then we stick to that thought, we stay with it, and it keeps creating more of that energy. So that is the challenge all of us have whenever we are trying to change any aspect of our life. One more thing before we get into how we create the change. So let's say any experience that's happening in your surrounding over here, your senses, they look at it and they tell to your, your conscious mind will register, hey, this is what's going on. It only tells you what is going on. And your unconscious mind is what interprets how to think about it. So let's say there is a challenge going on in your life. Let's say you're struggling in your relationship, right? In your intimate relationship, you're really struggling in it. That is what your senses are telling you. And how you think about that situation is going to depend what kind of programming you had between 0 to 7. If you had parents who were very nurturing, very caring, and they always talked about, let's say your aunt or uncle, somebody got divorced, and they always talked about, hey, if things don't work out, it's okay to part ways. If that is the kind of mindset you were brought up with, you'd be like, hey, things are not working out, it's okay for me to separate without feeling guilty. But let's say if you were brought up in a setting where it's not an option, people who separate, they are the bad people, that is when you're going to have so much struggle within you. You're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel bad that, oh my God, why I'm doing it? I shouldn't be doing it. You feel bad and you feel guilty. So just to show that the how you think about something comes from your 0 to 7. Whatever is going on in your life, if somewhere you're judging yourself, you're feeling guilty about yourself, you're feeling sad, angry, it all comes from that 0 to 7 programming that we have. Now, the wonderful thing that happens when we do understand how our unconscious mind works, we also have the opportunity to reprogram it. It is a little bit of a stretchy process. It does take time and effort to do it. But once you do it, you have completely shifted your paradigm, you have completely shifted your reality, and you have completely shifted your life. And that is the priceless work that we are about to do. So we are going to go with an example. I'm just going to erase all of this. Let's say you want to have a beautiful relationship. Let's say you're single, you want a wonderful man, or you're single and you want a wonderful woman in your life, and that is what you want to create. But the paradigm in your mind, the thoughts in your mind say, that's impossible. All the good people are taken. Who's going to marry me? Who's going to commit to me? Look at me. There's so many things wrong with me. If that is the conversation going on, so most likely the paradigm you have over here, the 0 to 7 programming, as a child, you heard a lot of negative comments about yourself, or you maybe heard a lot of negative comments around you in general. They were maybe not directed towards you, maybe they were directed to somebody else. Or maybe you have not seen enough happy marriages to believe that you can actually have one. So let's say that is where you are. And what you have decided today that, you really want to attract a wonderful partner within next 6 months. And that's what you want to do. Now, here's the magic part about being a human. Whenever we have a thought, we have an image. And we hold that image in our conscious mind. And there is a energetical force moving through us all day long. It's going up and down, up and down. Whatever image you can hold, it creates that image in your life. But you have to be so strong to hold that image no matter what happens in your life, no matter what is going on in your life, you hold that image and you actually create that. You would end up creating that. So let's say if you go on first date, it was horrible. Then you go on a second date, it was even worse than the first one. You still can hold that image. That is the kind of strength I'm talking about. So that does require, of course, a shift in belief. But if you just hold that image, the energy that moves through you, it has no choice but to create what image you're holding. It literally has no choice but to actually create the image that you are holding in your mind. So that is the mechanism we all have. We can use it. And now this is how we are going to use that mechanism to reprogram our unconscious mind. So let's say if those are the weird thoughts that you have about yourself, that means the belief about yourself is not a very pleasant one. So you're going to make a more of a neutral belief that, I am love, I am worthy of love, or I am happily married, or I do have a loving partner, however you want to coin that. So let's say personally, if I want to coin it, I would coin it as I am love. And I'll have an image because every time we have a thought, there's an image that's popping to our mind. So if I change my belief to I am loved, that creates the thought that I can be loved by an intimate partner, and that creates an image where maybe both of us are holding hands, we are sitting on a bench, we're really enjoying each other's company. For me personally, it's always being in the mountain, hiking. That is my idea of being loved and sharing your life with somebody. So that is the image I'm going to hold as much as I can. While I'm doing the internal conversation, saying it over and over, I am loved, I am loved, I am loved, and I'm holding that image. You can do it as many times as you can, or you can make a practice out of it. The best way to reprogram our unconscious mind is right before bedtime. It's like, that moment when your eyes are closed, you're kind of in and out of sleep, and as soon as you wake up. So if in bedtime you are not, that attentive, that you will remember it, do it in the morning. As soon as you wake up, within the next 5 to 10 minutes, just close your eyes and go into that image and repeat to yourself, I am loved, or whatever else you have come up with. That is how you're reprogramming your unconscious mind. We are also going to tap into the feeling. How does it feel to have that image become your reality. How does that feel? So with that feeling, what you're doing, you're opening the unconscious mind because it's the feeling mind. If you're just sitting there saying it just for the sake of saying it, it's not going anywhere. It's just going into the ethers all around you. But if you bring the feeling, you're bringing a focal point, you open up the unconscious mind, and it does not reject. It will accept that, yes, you are loved. And once it has accepted that, this is the cool part that's happening. Let's say once the image have been accepted by your subconscious mind, there's literally a signal that's going out to the universe from your subconscious mind and also from your conscious mind. So let's say if I am only holding an image once in a while in my conscious mind, but it never makes it to unconscious mind is saying you're going to be solo. They are kind of canceling each other. But once it comes into unconscious mind and it's in conscious mind, now I got a bigger force. It's sending that telepathical signal out into the universe, drawing those situations, circumstances, and persons that I want to attract to create the reality that I want to create. So then I am using the God-given mechanism that is built in within me to create my life any way I want. And all that happens when we are able to reprogram our subconscious mind. And it starts with understanding how powerful your subconscious mind is, and we all should be using it with like a very defined intention. We should be intentionally using it to be on our side and not just relying on our conscious mind only. Yes, you can keep thinking, maybe after a year or so, your subconscious mind would be like, fine, this thought has been in your conscious mind for so long, it must be, true. So that's when we see that it takes sometimes a couple of years for something to come to fruition. And then we say, whenever it was meant to be. If you do want to collapse that time, get all of your mind on your side. Yes, you can hold a thought for a very long time in your conscious mind and eventually it makes it to your subconscious mind. But if you're doing it intentionally every single day with an image and with a feeling, it happens faster. So that is what I wanted to share about understanding your unconscious mind for today, and be able to use it to create massive shifts in your life. Now, if this conversation is a little confusing to you and you still don't understand it, feel free to reach out to me. Anyone who's watching me on Facebook, you can just send me a DM. If you're finding this video just randomly on YouTube, just Google Alia the Love Coach and you can find me. And I would be more than happy to take you through these steps, help you even come up with your own personal belief that requires shifting. And if you want to do the deeper work of cleaning up your unconscious mind and reprogramming it, if that is the work you're ready to do, I would love to take you through that journey as well. So that is all for today, and I will see you all next Thursday. Sending you so much love. Bye.